guys, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm 4 minutes late to my own chat, my own live stream. Are you guys there? Give me a chat if you're there. Top chat, live chat. Hi, is anyone there watching? I am live. Babe, can you click on the link in Facebook to make sure that I'm live at that link? Oh, hey, I see Eric, I see Logan, Peter. Hey, Peter Champlin's here.
There we go.
Peter is one of my top patrons, and he's in my secret Facebook group. He's one of the few privileged people that have gotten to see work on my great guitar build-off entry so far. Hey, Aaron Osborne, good to see you, man. Soul Good Guitars, all right. Corey Muxlow, Soul Good Guitars is here. All right, Dennis Rattle, oh, good to see you, man. Awesome, lots of good people in here. So, I assume you guys can hear me all right? Can somebody say if you can hear me? Make sure audio's working. Got a thumbs up.
You're good, hearing you.
All right, everyone's hearing me. Perfect. So I'm drinking LaCroix coconut cola. I've been working on my guitar all day and I'm exhausted, so it's good to relax with you guys. Sorry, I'm really backlit here. Can you guys see me okay? See if I can tapping on it doesn't seem to make it adjust. All right, this is the worst live stream ever. I should probably do this more often. So just wanted to, oh yes, Peter, I did see that Wonder Bread made puppets of me and Brad, and I laughed my way through that whole live stream. That was hilarious. Those guys are crazy. They seem like dingbats, but I bet they are actually really cool people to hang out with. So I actually would love to go visit them in their shop sometime, maybe collaborate with them. They seem like cool guys. So just a bit of background. I've been going through a heck of a time with my motorhome lately, and I got way behind schedule on my great guitar build off, and I really just finally hit it hard about 2 days ago. Up until about 2 days ago, I had just a blank body and neck, and but I've had a productive 2 or 3 days, and now I feel like I am back in the game again, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Are there any questions? Rob, hey homie, just hopped in, hope all is well. Yeah, all is well now. Yes, we are, well,
Okay.
Things are a little bit better now. That tan though, yeah, I am. Look, dude, this is horrible. You guys loving my dad tan lines here? You want to see the guitar? That's privileged information, okay? You've got to be part of my secret Facebook group if you want to see how my guitar's coming along.
How's living on the road going?
How's living on the road going from Gerald Jones? Living on the road it's a lot of fun, but it's challenging. I mean, it has its challenges along with anything else. Thanks, Peter, for the prayers. I appreciate it. RJ's Cave. It is a raffle now, last I heard, which I think is a really good thing, if I'm being completely honest, because with an auction, only one rich person gets to donate to the charity, right? Whoever places the highest bid, the charity gets that person's donation. But with a raffle, even if you're poor, you can buy a $1 raffle ticket. And so a lot more people can buy in. The charity benefits a lot more. That we're going to raise a lot more money for the charities this way. And if you're poor, you have more of an opportunity of actually winning the guitar. So I think it's cool.
What's been your favorite guitar build?
What's been my, who asked that?
Dylan Wilson.
Dylan Wilson asked, what's been my favorite guitar build? I'm really excited. That's a mix between excited and farted. I'm really excited about this great guitar build-off build. I think it's going to be one of my best yet, but I won't know until it's done if it's my best. That Rickenbacker style guitar that I built for my cousin-in-law turned out awesome. I loved that one. And then, let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite so far. Hey, Kira's here. How's it going, Kira?
What's your favorite place that you've traveled to since going mobile? Aaron Osborne.
Aaron Osborne asks, what's my favorite place I've traveled to since going mobile? Been to a lot of really cool places. We are currently in South Dakota. I'm not going to tell you exactly where, but I got to say that I am shocked at how beautiful South Dakota is. So this is really high up on the list being here. I really also liked Yellowstone and Yosemite. Those are beautiful areas. And then as far as like cool places to just hang out, I spent 3 months in Oklahoma in the winter, and that was fun because I got to hang out with Jenna's cousin and her husband, and that was just amazing. So.
You still have that Rickenbacker bass you built or no?
Do I? So Gerald asked if I still have my Rickenbacker bass or not. No, I sold those a long time ago. It hurts to sell every time. I do have one kit left that I've hoarded for myself, so I might build that for myself one of these days. So.
What's the worst/scary thing about building guitar building?
All right.
Jordy rocks.
What's the worst/scariest thing about guitar building? Who said that?
Jordy rocks.
Jordy rocks. The worst/scariest thing about guitar building. I hate set neck guitars because I'm afraid that I'm going to glue it wrong, which I've done before. If you guys watched my ES335 bass build, that happened. And so that's probably the scariest part is like I can test fit it all I want, but then once the glue is dried, then there's nothing I can do about it. Except for my solution was to just cut the thing off, reroute it, and then bolt on the neck. So that's my least favorite part.
Dean said, let me be the first here to welcome you to South Dakota.
Okay, Dean says, welcome to South Dakota. Thanks, Dean. I appreciate the welcome.
Voodoo Custom Pick.
What? What? Voodoo Custom Pickups.
Do you take guitar part donations?
Do I take guitar part donations? Absolutely. Hey, Josh Buss is here. How's it going, man? That's my cousin-in-law that I built that Rickenbacker for, so everybody say hi to him. Yes, Voodoo Custom Pickups, I absolutely do take guitar parts, and if I like them, I use them in my build, and I feature them on my channel. I do that all the time. So if you've got something you want me to try out, feel free to reach out to me through like Facebook or Patreon or something like that, and yeah, then we should get the ball rolling on something.
Does Mrs. Guns play guitar or bass?
Does Mrs. Guns play guitar or bass? Mrs. Guns, I've given her how many bass lessons?
Like two.
Like two. She wanted to learn bass. I actually built that ES335 bass for her. She picked out that kit, built it for her. And then I got that Schecter Stealth 5-string bass to review from Schecter. And she saw that and she said, can I just have that one instead? Which made me feel really good about my build. But yeah, she wants to learn bass, but we've been having trouble finding time.
What are your thoughts on how expensive the bass kits are getting?
Logan says, what are my thoughts about how expensive the bass kits are getting? You know, it really just depends on supply and demand, and a lot of that has had to do with the sanctions put in place on China and imported goods. So a lot of those cheap Chinese kits are now costing more money, and it's not necessarily because they're charging more, it's because it costs more to get them. And so, yeah, that's the reason for that. Definitely, price has a little bit to do with quality as well. So if you're paying a little bit more, you're likely getting something a little bit more quality. You won't have to work so hard to make it play really well, you know. So.
Cars Guitars asks, what's the next guitar kit project?
Cars Guitars asks, what's the next guitar kit project? That's a good question. I've been putting off, I have a couple of kits. An ES335 guitar is one that comes to mind that I've been wanting to build for myself. I haven't really had time to build one for me. I've been building them. So the Sustainiac guitar that I built, actually built for my brother. That was his dream guitar. I tried to just use my influence over guitar parts manufacturers and try to make his dream come true. Same thing for that Rick guitar. That was actually one that I was hoarding for myself, but once I saw the ministry that my buddy Josh was doing, I just had to give it to him. So one of these days I would like to build one for me, and so I have ES335 guitar that is waiting for that project. I also have a semi-hollow Tele that might also be that. I don't know. So, and then I have a prototype bass that's been in the works for about 2.5 years and have never finished. So I'd like to finish that at one of these points.
Jeff Maslin asked favorite brand / company you used to build.
Jeff asked my favorite brand / company that I've used to build. I assume you mean guitar kits. And well, firstly, this Crimson guitar kit that I have for the Great Guitar Build Off is by far the best of anything that I've ever built. The quality is just top notch, but I think you're going to end up paying for it because they are not cheap. And if you're in the US, they ship from the UK, so you have to factor in the conversion rate and the shipping on that. So that was probably the best kit I've ever built. Even though it was really just a blank neck and body, it's just really quality. I love the kits from Bargain Musician and Fretwire. I know that Pitbull Custom Guitars, or Pitbull Guitars in Australia, they use the same factory manufacturer for their kits that the Fretwire and Bargain Musician use. And those kits, they're hit and miss, but the price is right, and more importantly, the customer service is there. Both Zane, the owner of Bargain Musician, and Sam, the owner of Fretwire, they really actually care that you get a good kit, and they can't inspect them all. So if you get a bad one, you just let them know. They always take care of you. So I always recommend those. You can take a chance with like eBay or AliExpress or TomTop. Likely they're coming from the same factory, but they're not the same ones that the other guys are getting. They're the lesser quality ones that they're afraid to ship to those guys because they know they'll get sent back. So you kind of are rolling the dice with those, but I'm not afraid to build those kits because, you know, I've kind of found that you can make just about anything playable if you're willing to put in enough work. So, but I think if you want to do less work, I'd go with Bargain Musician, Fretwire, or Pitbull as far as best value.
We've gotten a couple questions about, do you think you might do some builds from scratch?
Lots of people ask if I will build anything from scratch. I definitely am going to be building some guitar bodies from scratch. I have a few ideas that I really want to try out, so those will be coming up here soon. It'll be a long time before I ever attempt making a neck from scratch, just because my channel is all about how you can do things easier or cheaper, and the easiest and cheapest way to build a neck is to just buy one. So I will probably just continue to buy necks for my builds, just because, I mean, I'd have to carry around a heck of a lot more tools with me, although I got just about every tool I need from Crimson for this guitar build off. So I probably actually have all the tools now, but I still don't want to do it because it's a lot of work, and I couldn't do it for cheaper than I could buy one, so might as well just buy one.
Noah Loza, I think it's crazy that your audience doesn't know how great of a bass player you really are. Hashtag remember SoCal days. Miss you.
Yes, Noah Loza. I know. I was just going to ask if you were, I hate to call you Sheena's little brother, but I definitely gigged a lot more with Sheena than I did with you. But I remember, yeah. What did he say? Something about playing bass back in SoCal?
You're a great bass player. Nobody knows it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Let's see. Thoughts on big box Morley pedals from the 70s?
Thoughts on big box Morley pedals from the 70s. Those are cool. The only one, I've owned two. I don't know if they were from the 70s or 80s. I bought them from pawn shops, so I didn't know anything about them. But I bought a Morley wah pedal and a Morley volume pedal, and I liked them both. Although the volume pedal, it was great. The tone on it was awesome, and that's always the issue with volume pedals, is they tend to be tone suckers. The tone on that was awesome, but it was not very smooth action, so it really made a better rhythm lead pedal because you could set the minimum volume adjustment on it, which was awesome. So I could, back off for rhythm playing and then pump it up a little bit for lead. And the tone was great, but it didn't really make a very good volume pedal. But the wah pedal was killer. Love the wah pedal. Any more questions, Beavers?
Someone asked if you do custom engravings. Just mentioned that you did a video on it.
Yes, I do I did a video on custom engravings. I don't, I'm not taking any commissions on guitar builds or really anything else, just due to the nature of the way I'm living life now. I just can't, it's too hard to get things and then carry them around while I'm working on them and then ship them back out, just being completely mobile, so can't really do that.
Do you ever think about building a Frankenstein replica?
do I ever feel like building a Frankenstein replica? Who asked that? Cruise. Yeah. I'm not really into replicas, honestly. So I don't think that I would do that. It's definitely a cool guitar. I love that guitar specifically. But I'm not into copying other people's work. I kind of like to make things myself.
Ed Billy being Blues, any wiring tricks up your sleeve for the great guitar build up?
So who Bean and Blues? What?
Ed Billy
Bean and Blues.
BN Blues.
BN Blues. Asked if I've got any wiring tricks up my sleeve for the great guitar build off. I think it wouldn't be a Dan build if I didn't do at least some wiring tricks. So there will be a few. Yeah.
Any gun stuff coming up soon, Dominic?
Any gun stuff coming up soon? Yeah, that depends. So gun content I'm finding is very difficult to make on the road, because in order to know the best places to go shooting, you kind of have to be an insider in the community, and I'm an outsider everywhere I go. So if I find places, I did find a place in Montana that I could do some shooting. So, but I do have a Henry 410 axe that I'm reviewing, so I got to shoot that a little bit. And then I have some new, the Know Your Limits targets from Shooting Target 7. I have those, both the rimfire and the rifle pistol setup, and those are fun. So I've been shooting those a little bit. I've been working on a SIG P365 review video since they came out, and now I'm like so late to the table, I'm not motivated to finish it. But I have that. But yeah, for my gun stuff, I like to get out to the range at least 2, 3, or 4 times, which makes it a much longer process to try to get those videos filmed. So, oh, somebody loves my new website. That's my wife. My wife designed the new website. I think I designed the old one, and then my wife went in and made it usable because it was horrible. And then finally she just said, we're starting all over again from scratch. So check out gunsandguitars.net if you want to see the new website. It looks a lot better. Hey Gita, how's it going? She says, nicely done, Jenna.
One of the funniest moments during a build.
What is the funniest moment during a build? Well, you guys saw it when I was building that Sustainiac, and the router slipped and took a huge chunk out of it. Oh gosh, ooh, mosquito, wonderful. Yeah, that was embarrassing. I don't know that I've done anything funnier than that. That was pretty freaking funny.
Oh, someone asked if you do any modification to the suspension on your truck to handle the weight of the camper.
So yeah, we're actually not in that trailer anymore. So who asked that? Somebody asked if I did any.
Stinkface McPoop.
Oh, Stinkface McPoop. Good to see you again. I think I sent you some in-ears a while ago. Asked if I did any modifications to the suspension of my truck so it could handle our big trailer. We are not traveling in that trailer anymore. That was a good transitional rig for us, but we wanted something a little bit smaller, a little more nimble. So we're actually in a Class A motorhome now, and we tow a Jeep. But that truck, I didn't do any modifications to the suspension. It was an F450, so it was built for heavy towing, so I didn't have to do anything.
JT asked, is there a way to wire active EMG pickups to passive?
Who asked that? JT asked if there's a way to wire active guitar pickups to make them passive. Unfortunately, there is not. Active pickups have such a low output that they require a preamp. And active pickups do have, gosh, the bugs are real. We're gonna have to end this live chat here. Oh no, we still got 12 more minutes. I'm just gonna get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
They're just ants.
Are they ants?
Yeah,
Oh. Anyway, sorry, they're ants. Getting attacked by a flock of ants. Sorry, JT. No, they require a preamp. Most of them have. Oh, Stinkface McPoopline. Yes, I sent you a cable. That's what it was, not in-ears. JT, no, you can't. Active pickups must be ran active. Oh, I got a super chat from Scar My Guitar. All they said was "You rock." Thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks for popping into the chat. I appreciate you being here.
Someone said, "What about the gun you shot and the mag fell out?"
Oh yes, that was funny. Somebody said, "What about when I shot the gun and the mag fell out because I didn't stick it in all the way?" That was pretty hilarious. But that wasn't a guitar build, so that doesn't require. So sorry, JT. If you want pickups that have an active passive switch, you need passive pickups with an active preamp, and then you can wire. I actually have a video on how to wire in an active passive bypass switch. So, Scar says I look a little sunburned. That is true. I didn't put on any sunscreen today, and my wife mentioned that. So, in addition to my awesome dad tan lines, I've got some sunburn lines as well. So, good job. That's what I get for working out in the sun.
Cars guitars. Is it possible to have a guitar with 2 EMG single coils and 1 a passive humbucker?
Cars Guitars asks if it's possible to have a guitar with 2 active single coils and 1 passive humbucker. I don't know for sure, but I suspect that would be troublesome. Although you might be able to, if you run your active pickups to power and the preamp before your selector switch, and then you include the passive pickup, you could probably select the passive pickup with it. I honestly don't know. I'd have to try it and see if it works.
Red Yamaha Bass Guy asked the hardest thing you've ever installed into a guitar in terms of difficulty level.
So, hardest thing I've ever installed into a guitar in terms of difficulty level was from Red Bass Dude. Is that what it was? Red Yamaha Bass Guy. Oh, cool. I like Yamaha basses. Actually, my second bass that I owned was the Yamaha bass, and that one was awesome. And then it died, and I replaced it with a Schecter. And I missed that Yamaha. And that does not answer your question.
Squirrel.
Hardest thing that I've installed in a guitar, that Sustainiac was difficult. There's a lot of wiring that goes along with a Sustainiac. And I even got an auxiliary printed circuit board for it to help with the wiring, but that still made it pretty complicated to install. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was more complicated than that. That's probably the most complicated thing I've done. Any more questions, babe?
What can I do to ground my hollow body?
What can you do to ground your hollow body? Do you mean shield? Because grounding, you should be able to just run a wire to the back of all of your pots to ground them, and then a wire to your bridge, and then make sure all your ground network is connected to the sleeve of your output jack, and that would ground it. But if you're having shielding issues, the best thing that I could say is to use humbuckers, which will help a little bit.
You put the ground wire in the bridge stud and it came out.
Oh, you put the ground wire in the bridge stud and it came out. That is rough. So you're going to need to put it back in there, and then what I would do is I would take a little bit of copper foil like shielding tape or some kind of metal tape. You could use like the aluminum like HVAC tape, just something that's conductive, and see if you can put a little strip of tape down inside that post to hold that copper wire in place, and then put your peg back in. Pete says you can hardly hear me. Is that true? Are you guys having a hard time hearing me? Daniel Nugent, please. Someone mentioned Louisiana here. Is it the hurricane? Yeah, that is rough. Funny story. Well, sorry, that's nothing funny about what's happening in Louisiana, but last night here in South Dakota, we actually had a tornado warning, like full-on sirens in the city were going off, and we were getting ready for bed, and we just ran outside and hopped in the Jeep and drove to the nearest storm shelter. So that was cool. So yeah, storms are no joke. And then it hailed on us, and then now we have a leak in our roof. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people in Louisiana are suffering right now. That's really sad. And I'd like to say I feel their pain, but it's probably doesn't even compare to what they're going on there. So yeah, prayers going out to Louisiana for sure. Absolutely. Some people can say they can hear me, and some people say that they can't. I'll just try to speak up a little bit. Speak up a little bit. I'll try to speak properly too. Jeez. Got about 5 or 6 more minutes left. Any more questions coming through? Favorite headstock shape from Damian Keller. The headstock that I put on the ES335 bass, I love. I actually took lots of pictures of it so I could remember what I did there, so I could do it again.
So excited for your PRS
Somebody
Build
said
off.
they're so excited for the PRS type build. Yes, I'm so excited for it too because I've never built one like that, and it's the reason why I chose that kit because I haven't built a PRS yet, and I'm very excited for it.
Archtop build? Question mark.
Archtop Builds? Question mark. So I mentioned earlier that I have an ES335 style kit, guitar kit that I really want to build for myself. So got that coming up.
How about a Telecaster
How about a Telecaster
Acoustic Master Bass?
Acoustic what?
Master Bass.
Master Bass. How about it? I gotta be honest. I am not a super huge fan of the Telecaster shape. I love Telecasters as far as tone, Telecaster guitars. Tele bass is really just kind of like a 51P style bass, like the early P basses, as far as tone, and those are awesome as well. But as far as the actual Telecaster shape, I don't really care for it. So probably not, if I'm being honest.
When are you coming back to California? When are you gonna have a group meetup?
When am I coming back through California, and when am I having a group meetup? Are those both by the same person? Okay, by Red Steak Gaming. Red what?
State.
Red State Gaming. Yeah, that's what I said.
You said steak.
Did I say steak? I'd go for a red steak right about now. When are we going back to California? I think we'll be there around Christmas time. So if you're in the Southern California area, maybe we could do a meetup around the holidays. That might be kind of cool. I need to start doing more meetups when I'm in major cities. We don't go into major cities very often. We kind of try to avoid them, honestly, because we like being out in the wilderness. But I do need to start doing that because I think it'd be fun to meet some of you guys in person.
Last question. When did you first start building guitars, and what was your first build?
When did I first start building guitars, and what was my first build? So you guys are gonna laugh about this. First guitar I ever built is my one video that has over 1 million views, called "How to Build a High-End Guitar Out of a Cheap eBay Stratocaster or DIY Kit." And I got a super chat. I'll definitely answer that in just a second. And so that was actually my first guitar kit that I built, and I just researched the heck out of how to turn a cheap kit into like what all the luthiers do to make guitars sound awesome and play awesome. And so then I just filmed the process, and then I decided to make a video about it, and then that kind of was the video that put me on the map as a YouTuber, so to speak. That's what helped me to make the transition from it being just a side little hobby to being like an actual business that I can make a living doing. So
Is the Great Guitar Build-Off ready to go? I think you and 3x3 are the sleepers.
okay, so that was the super chat, right? And who is that from?
Ed Billy Bean Blues.
Ed Billy Bean Blues asked, "Is the Great Guitar Build-Off build ready yet?" It is not even close. So I mentioned earlier in the chat that I've been dealing with some issues with my motorhome. Our generator kind of stopped working. We've had a leaky roof. We lost an air conditioner cover. All these things competing for my attention. And the whole point of me doing YouTube for a living and taking my family out on the road is to prioritize being a good husband and a good father first. And so when stuff like that happens, I just have to take care of it. So my guitar build just really got put on the back burner until about 2 or 3 days ago. I've been able to hit it hard, but 2 or 3 days ago it was still just a blank body and neck, and now it's resembling a guitar, which I'm very excited about. All right, how are we doing on time? It is 5:33. Let's do one more question, or let's do 3 more questions. How about that? 3 more questions.
Ever tried a Van Gogh 12-string acoustic? They are on Amazon for $179
Have I ever tried a Van Gogh 12-string acoustic? Yes, I have. They actually sent me one as a giveaway for my huge 100,000 subscriber giveaway, and I didn't review it because they just gave it to me to give away. But I did jam on it, and it sounded awesome. It played really awesome. I've been really happy with Van Gogh guitars. In fact, I have a little 3/4 scale travel guitar that they sent me one for the gift away, and I liked it so much I asked for another one to do a review. So I actually have a review on that one. The one thing you gotta watch out for is they come with sharp fret ends. So just take some 320 grit sandpaper and polish off those fret ends, and you're good to go. I mean, they play awesome. They sound awesome. For the money, they're pretty stinking great. All right, 2 more questions.
Any more collabs planned?
Any more collabs planned? Well, since you guys joined me in the live stream, I'm going to give you some privileged information for the Great Guitar Build Off. You are going to see a cameo from my buddy Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone. So those of you who are familiar with his channel, you probably know how he's helping me out with the build off, but he's like the only other guitar YouTuber that lives and travels full-time in an RV. And so we've been chatting, we've been in touch the last few months, and then we just decided to meet up actually here in South Dakota. So that was really cool to meet him in person, and so he's gonna make an appearance. Outside of that and the Great Guitar Build Off, I don't have any planned, but I do have other people on board to do one eventually. We just haven't figured it out yet. So, all right, one more question. My wife is trying to find a good question. So if you've got one more question, be sure. Oh, Chris says, thanks for the IEMs you sent me. You're welcome. Oh, that reminds me. I never shipped the in-ear monitors for my patrons that I said that I was going to do. Oh, gosh. I think I bought... Hey, look, a little Vespa going by. Gosh, Patreon, if you're a patron, $5 or $10 patron, and you sent me your address, I have in-ear monitors for you. I bought the bubble mailers, but I haven't actually sent them out. I'm so sorry. Shoot, I need to do that. First thing after this Great Guitar Build Off is over, I'm going to ship those in-ear monitors, I promise. All right, still looking for a good question to end on. What is my opinion on Kramer guitars? Okay, we'll end on that one. Who asked that?
Cars Guitars.
Cars Guitars. You've asked a lot of questions. I actually really like Kramer. Is it Kramer? Hamer was actually the one that I was thinking of. I had a Hamer guitar that I loved. That thing was awesome. It was like a poor man's PRS. It sounded so thick and crunchy. I loved it. Kramer. I don't think I've ever actually played a Kramer guitar. Here he goes again. I think he knows that I'm doing a YouTube live and he just keeps driving back and forth. I don't think I've played a Kramer guitar, but I've not heard anything bad about him. I mean, if it sounds good and it plays good, who cares what brand name is on it, right? All right, guys.
Where do they send their address to?
What?
Timothy Chapman is the one that won.
Tim Chapman asked if, I think you sent me your address already, didn't you? If not, do it on Patreon. Send me your address and I'll send you some in-ear monitors. But I think I already got an address from you for some reason. If you are a $5 or $10 patron, send me your address again, and I'll send them out. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys, for this live stream. I had a lot of fun. Thank you to Scar My Guitar, and I forget the name of the person that did. Oh, that's right, Ed Billy Bean Blues Bean and Blues for the super chats. Appreciate that. I didn't expect that, so thank you very much for those. And it was fun hanging out. And I will see you guys next Friday for the Great Guitar Build Off. I need to seriously finish that project so that I can have that uploaded in time. All right, see you guys later. Bye.